We're going to fight this case with everything we have, as is he, and eventually he's going to be shown to be innocent.
That was the attorney for music mogul Sean Diddy Combs vowing to fight for Combs after a judge denied the rapper and music mogul bail and ordered him to stay in federal detention until the beginning of his criminal sex crimes trial. Combs faces 3 federal charges.
Reports are swirling around a leaked audio clip allegedly capturing Sean Diddy Combs breaking down inside his jail cell. The music mogul, known for his powerful and confident persona, appears to be facing the harsh reality of his situation after being denied bail in his ongoing legal case. The leaked audio, which has quickly gone viral, reveals a raw and vulnerable side of Diddy that fans and the public have rarely seen. In the clip, Diddy can reportedly be heard expressing frustration, fear, and regret, seemingly overwhelmed by the circumstances he finds himself in. For a man who has built an empire on success, luxury, and control, the emotional outburst is a shocking contrast to his usual public image. The news of Diddy's emotional breakdown inside jail has sparked a media frenzy, with many speculating about the toll his legal battles are taking on him mentally and emotionally. The audio leak has only added to the growing drama surrounding Diddy's fall from grace, further intensifying the spotlight on his rapidly deteriorating situation. As more details emerge, this latest development paints a vivid picture of the pressure mounting on the once untouchable music mogul, a harsh reality. Sean Diddy Combs, the mogul who once commanded stages, business deals, and the charts, is now facing a harsh and unexpected reality: life behind bars. From private jets and lavish parties to the confines of a jail cell, Diddy's time in prison so far has been nothing short of a shocking contrast to the life of luxury he previously led. The man who once enjoyed control over every aspect of his empire is now grappling with a new existence, one where control is something he no longer holds. Since his bail was denied, Diddy has been locked up, awaiting trial on multiple serious charges. His arrest and incarceration have not only stunned his fans, but have also placed his mental and emotional state under the microscope. Sources from inside the facility claim that Diddy, who is accustomed to opulence, has had a difficult time adjusting to the stark reality of prison life.
Sean Diddy Combs is locked up in a federal jail that has been plagued by harsh conditions and violence. The Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn has seen multiple deaths in recent years. An inmate was stabbed to death in July, and several others have died by suicide. It's these reasons, among others, that Combs' lawyers are fighting to get him out of there. They want him released on bail, rather than being kept in jail while he awaits trial on sex trafficking charges. Combs is just the latest high-profile defendant to be locked up at MDC Brooklyn. Before him, there were R. Kelly, Elaine Maxwell, and crypto scammer Sam Bankman-Fried. Maxwell complained about her treatment at the facility, which included round-the-clock checks in the wake of her associate Jeffrey Epstein's jail suicide. A few years ago, a week-long power outage in the dead of winter left detainees in drab, cold conditions. Judges have also raised alarms. They pressed the Bureau of Prisons for status updates and implored the agency to fix things. One judge even refused to send some defendants to the jail. For now, Combs is one of about 1,200 people locked up at MDC Brooklyn. He's the highest-profile detainee at a place that's been described as hell on earth.
But take the word of a former inmate I spoke with who goes by Esco.
It's terrible. The food is terrible. Of course, the inmates are terrible. The guards are terrible. The conditions are terrible. It's just terrible.
The inmates that you're surrounded around, just in general, a lot of them are brought up on pretty heavy federal indictments, right? So just in terms of the atmosphere there, it's just certainly one that no one.
The transition from a multi-million-dollar mansion to a cramped cell, surrounded by concrete and iron bars, has taken a visible toll on the music icon, adjusting to prison life. For Diddy, adjusting to life behind bars has been no easy feat. Gone are the days of designer clothes, high-end dining, and luxurious vacations. Instead, Diddy now faces a world of strict rules, limited freedoms, and a monotonous daily routine. Prison life is a far cry from the lifestyle he built over the decades, and insiders suggest that this stark difference has been difficult for him to process. Sources close to the situation report that Diddy has been placed in a high-security section of the facility due to his celebrity status, but that hasn't eased the mental strain he's been facing. His requests for special accommodations, such as increased security and privacy, have reportedly been granted, but life inside the facility remains rigid and difficult to navigate for someone accustomed to constant luxury and personal freedom. Diddy is believed to have minimal interaction with other inmates, and while this offers some protection, it also isolates him further, contributing to the emotional toll of his situation. In a prison setting, routine is everything. For Diddy, each day is dictated by strict schedules: meals, recreation, lights out, and lockdowns. This is a far cry from the fast-paced, decision-filled days of running a music and business empire. Reports suggest that Diddy has struggled to adapt to the routine and limited autonomy, with some insiders claiming that he has experienced bouts of frustration and anger at the confines of his new reality. Emotional breakdown. One of the most telling signs of Diddy's struggle in prison came in the form of a leaked audio clip, which surfaced just weeks after his bail was denied. The clip, which quickly went viral, allegedly captures Diddy having an emotional breakdown in his jail cell. In the audio, Diddy's usually composed and confident demeanor crumbles, and he is heard expressing deep frustration, fear, and regret. The raw, vulnerable side of Diddy that fans rarely see has left many shocked. For someone who has carefully curated his image as a strong, successful, and untouchable mogul, this emotional outburst is a reminder that even the most powerful individuals are not immune to the pressures and hardships of incarceration. The leaked audio has fueled speculation about Diddy's mental state and raised questions about how he is coping behind bars. Mental health concerns. Diddy's emotional breakdown has raised alarms, not only among his fans and supporters, but also within the prison system itself. Reports indicate that Diddy has been placed on a form of suicide Suicide Watch, with prison officials concerned about the toll his incarceration is taking on his mental health. While this is not an uncommon precaution for high-profile inmates, it underscores the seriousness of Diddy's situation and the extent to which he is struggling to adapt to his new reality.
Well, it's been a number of years since I've been in the Metropolitan Detention Center, but what I can tell you is New York City, being the biggest, most populated city in America, the MDC has a difficult time recruiting and retaining staff. So one of the key issues is a lack of staffing. And it would be unfair for me not to mention that the vast majority of MDC staff are hardworking, salt of the earth, well-trained people. I know many of them. They're fantastic people. Unfortunately, however, there has been a disproportionate element of corruption within the ranks of MDC. I think that it has to do with a number of factors, to include the inability to hold on to the really good staff.
Yeah.
Many of them leave.
Combs isn't the only famous inmate to be housed there. We had Sam Bankman-Fried there, R. Kelly, Ghislaine Maxwell. They were all inmates there. Sean Combs is being kept away from the general inmate population. You say his fame makes him a target.
Yeah, sure. And not necessarily at the MDC only. I mean,
anywhere.
Yes, in my humble estimation, his life, his safety is in jeopardy in any correctional lockup right now. If it is true, as reported, that he is housed in the special housing unit, it's important to note that the special housing unit is a lockdown, 24-hour lockdown unit. The MDC Brooklyn is a high-rise. The vast majority of the floors are general population floors. But the special housing unit is a 24-hour lockdown facility. So this is for Mr. Combs' protection.
Being placed under suicide watch means constant surveillance, limited interaction with others, and increased restrictions on personal belongings. For Diddy, who has always enjoyed ultimate freedom and privacy, this is undoubtedly another blow to his sense of autonomy and control. The isolation and intense scrutiny are likely adding to his emotional distress, creating a cycle that could further impact his mental health. Mental health experts often cite that high-profile individuals like Diddy, who are suddenly removed from their lavish lifestyles and thrust into the prison system, experience extreme difficulty in coping. The abrupt loss of control, combined with the fear of legal repercussions, creates an environment of anxiety and depression. Diddy, despite his wealth and power, is now facing these same struggles. The public's reaction. While Diddy's legal battle and time behind bars have captivated media attention, the public's reaction has been mixed. Diddy's fans, many of whom have followed his career for decades, have expressed deep concern for his well-being, with some rallying around the hashtag #FreeDiddy on social media. These supporters see the emotional breakdown and Diddy's struggles in prison as signs of a man being unjustly targeted and wrongfully punished. They argue that Diddy's wealth and influence have made him a target of both legal authorities and the media, and they have called for his release on bail. However, not all public reactions have been sympathetic. Critics of Diddy, including some who have long suspected him of criminal behavior, see his breakdown and imprisonment as the consequence of years of unchecked power and influence. They argue that Diddy is finally facing accountability for actions that have gone unpunished for too long, and they see his struggles in prison as part of the justice process. The divide between fans and critics has sparked heated debates online, with some believing that Diddy's fame is being used against him, while others argue that his status should not shield him from the consequences of his actions. This public discourse mirrors the complexity of Diddy's legacy. He is, after all, not just a businessman and musician, but a symbol of power and success in the hip-hop world. Diddy's legal team. As Diddy sits behind bars, his legal team is working tirelessly to find a way to secure his release. Led by a group of high-profile attorneys known for their success in defending celebrities, the team's primary goal is to appeal the judge's decision to deny bail and get Diddy out of jail as soon as possible. They argue that Diddy is not a flight risk, and they believe that the charges against him are being exaggerated due to his celebrity status. Diddy's attorneys are expected to file motions to appeal the bail denial, citing his extensive business and family ties in the U.S. as reasons he should be granted release while awaiting trial. They may also argue that his mental health is suffering in jail, pointing to the leaked audio clip as evidence that incarceration is taking a severe toll on his well-being. If they can make a compelling case that Diddy's imprisonment is detrimental to his health, they may be able to convince a higher court to reconsider his bail request. The FBI's interest in Diddy was not a sudden development. It started quietly, with investigators taking note of various legal complaints, lawsuits, and testimonies from people connected to his business empire. While Diddy had faced multiple legal challenges over the years, including his involvement in the infamous 1999 Club New York shooting, he always managed to escape unscathed, either through legal settlements or by being acquitted. However, the FBI's interest in Diddy took a more serious turn when financial irregularities were discovered within his businesses, suggesting that something much larger and illegal might be going on beneath the surface. According to sources, the FBI began investigating Diddy's financial activities in response to a series of reports about money laundering, fraud, and tax evasion. Several insiders within his business operations allegedly came forward with concerns that Diddy was using his vast wealth and influence to hide illicit gains, moving money through shell companies and offshore accounts to avoid detection.
What makes them so mad is when you don't want to be a part of their fucking club. That pisses them off. What club am I talking about? I'm talking about the club of gatekeepers that we all gotta deal with. You know who they are, and they definitely know who they are. A lot of people be like, what, who? Come on, man, stop playing. So...
Sean Carter is worse.
Oh, man.
He's smarter. He's patient.
He's not sloppy. Leave her be. Leave her be. Cause I'm not gonna stop coming. You can fuck with her all you want. I'm not gonna stop.
It's 2020, y'all. And it's different than when it was 2016. You know, the game has been elevated. As we can tell, there's no expense being spared. We had a black billionaire's lunch. You understand? Right. And we here together, and we're going to keep staying together. We getting tighter. You know what I'm saying? And united we stand. And ain't nothing else. To us. Black excellence.
LeBron James comments on P. Diddy getting arrested and basically saying that he had a weird feeling today was the day the feds will actually catch up to Diddy. I guess we can all confirm that LeBron James was the anonymous tipster that gave up. No. Yo, I'm gonna keep it a glass of water, y'all. This is nasty work. Y'all remember before a couple months ago that we saw that LeBron James was saying, ain't no party like a Diddy party. Some people will say that LeBron James should go to jail. Chill out, y'all, right? We all know that this is a troll post. Well, it is actually true that P. Diddy did go to jail, though. But I mean, about LeBron James' whole situation is crazy, and that's lies. But it's still funny just to see that. Maybe, y'all let me know how y'all feel about the whole P. Diddy situation and LeBron James. But you ready to know what's up? I'm not.
This is incredibly disturbing footage, so I do want to warn our viewers, as you did. But as you said, Cassie's lawsuit, which was filed in November of 2023 and then was quickly settled overnight, it did open the floodgates. But in that complaint, Jake, she details an incident that she alleged happened in March of 2016 at a hotel in Los Angeles, physically assaulted by Diddy. Now our team in the LA Bureau, we have got our hands on that surveillance footage, and it appears to corroborate Cassie's claims identically.
These allegations triggered a broader investigation into his business dealings, with the FBI quietly gathering information for months. The FBI's investigation into Diddy was methodical and far-reaching. Federal agents focused on uncovering a web of financial crimes that spanned multiple years in several of Diddy's business ventures, including his music label Bad Boy Records, his clothing line Sean John, and his involvement in the spirits industry with Ciroc. The goal was to determine whether Diddy was engaging in large-scale money laundering and tax evasion to protect and expand his empire. To build their case, the FBI relied on a combination of forensic accountants, financial experts, and insider testimonies. The agency began by examining Diddy's financial records, looking for discrepancies and suspicious transactions. Over time, they discovered a complex network of shell companies, offshore accounts, and fraudulent invoices that suggested Diddy had been diverting money from his legitimate business activities to fund illicit operations and evade taxes. Court documents would later reveal that Diddy allegedly used these shell companies to funnel millions of dollars through various channels, making it difficult for authorities to trace the money back to him. By setting up fake businesses and moving funds internationally, he was able to obscure the true source of the money and avoid paying taxes on his earnings. This strategy had worked for years, but the FBI's forensic accounting team began piecing together the puzzle, finding a trail of financial misconduct that led straight to Diddy. As part of their investigation, the FBI also looked into Diddy's personal spending habits, which raised red flags. From extravagant purchases of luxury cars and private jets to multi-million-dollar homes and lavish parties, Diddy's spending was excessive even by celebrity standards. The FBI questioned how much of this spending was legitimate and whether some of it was funded by illegal activities. These concerns only deepened the investigation, leading to increased scrutiny on his financial records. Witnesses stepped forward. While the FBI was able to gather substantial evidence through financial records, it was the testimony of key witnesses that truly sealed Diddy's fate. Over time, several former employees, business associates, and insiders came forward with information about Diddy's business practices, revealing a darker side to his operations. These individuals, many of whom had been close to Diddy for years, were able to provide first-hand accounts of the illegal activities happening behind closed doors. One of the most significant testimonies came from a former accountant who had worked for Diddy's companies for years. This accountant provided crucial evidence that Diddy had been deliberately falsifying financial records to cover up his money laundering schemes. According to their testimony, Diddy instructed his financial team to create fake invoices and move money through shell companies to hide profits and avoid detection. The accountant's cooperation with the FBI was a turning point in the investigation, giving federal agents the inside information they needed to move forward with their case. Another key witness was a former business partner who had worked with Diddy on several high-profile deals. This individual alleged that Diddy used intimidation tactics to silence those who questioned his business practices. They claimed that anyone who challenged Diddy or threatened to expose his illegal activities was either paid off or faced serious consequences, including threats to their safety. This testimony added weight to the FBI's investigation, suggesting that Diddy had not only engaged in financial crimes, but also used his influence to obstruct justice and avoid accountability. These insider testimonies were critical in providing the FBI with the evidence they needed to build a comprehensive case against Diddy. They revealed how he had been able to operate above the law for so long, and how he had managed to silence those who might have exposed his wrongdoing. The FBI raid. After months of gathering evidence, the FBI was ready to act. In a coordinated operation, federal agents executed a search warrant at one of Diddy's primary residences, as well as several of his business offices. The raid, which took place early in the morning, was swift and thorough, with agents seizing computers, financial records, and other key documents that could further support their case. According to reports, the raid was the culmination of months of surveillance and intelligence gathering, and it marked the beginning of Diddy's unraveling. The raid was a highly publicized event, with news outlets capturing images of FBI agents entering Diddy's estate and carting out boxes of evidence. The media frenzy surrounding the raid only added to the pressure on Diddy, as his legal team scrambled to respond to the sudden escalation in the investigation. Federal agents were confident that the evidence they had gathered during the raid would be enough to secure an indictment. Among the items seized during the raid were several financial records that corroborated the testimonies of Diddy's former employees. These records included detailed accounts of how money was moved through shell companies, as well as correspondence that suggested Diddy had direct knowledge of the illegal activities happening within his businesses. This evidence was critical in connecting Diddy to the financial crimes and proving that he had been actively involved in the money laundering schemes. In addition to the financial evidence, the FBI also uncovered digital communications that further implicated Diddy in the illegal activities. Emails, text messages, and phone records revealed conversations between Diddy and his associates, discussing how to move money, avoid detection, and intimidate those who threatened to expose them. These communications painted a picture of a man who was deeply involved in orchestrating the schemes and who used his wealth and influence to maintain control over the situation. The fallout. Following the FBI raid, it wasn't long before Diddy was officially charged. In a stunning development, federal prosecutors announced that Diddy was facing multiple charges, including money laundering, tax evasion, obstruction of justice, and witness tampering. The indictment detailed how Diddy had allegedly orchestrated a series of financial crimes to protect and expand his business empire, while using his power to silence those who might expose him. The charges against Diddy were serious and carried the potential for significant jail time if he were convicted. For someone who had managed to avoid major legal consequences for so long, this moment marked a dramatic shift in Diddy's life and career. The arrest sent shockwaves through the music industry, with fans, business partners, and celebrities alike reeling from the news. As Diddy was taken into custody, his legal team quickly moved into action, preparing a defense against the charges. Diddy's attorneys argued that the case against him was based on circumstantial evidence, and that the testimonies of former employees were unreliable, motivated by financial gain or personal vendettas. However, the evidence gathered by the FBI was substantial, and federal prosecutors were confident that they had enough to convict the once untouchable mogul. Diddy's empire in peril. Diddy's arrest had immediate and far-reaching consequences for his business empire. Almost overnight, brands that had partnered with him for years began to distance themselves, wary of being associated with someone facing such serious charges. His ventures in music, fashion, and spirits all took a hit as investors pulled out and deals were put on hold. For someone who had spent decades building a reputation as a savvy businessman and tastemaker, the arrest marked the beginning of a rapid decline. The public's reaction to Diddy's arrest was a mix of shock, disbelief, and in some cases, satisfaction. While many of his fans remained loyal, expressing hope that he would beat the charges, others saw the arrest as long overdue justice. For years, Diddy had been at the center of various controversies, and to some, the FBI's case confirmed long-held suspicions about his conduct. The music industry, too, was shaken by Diddy's arrest. His influence in hip-hop and R&B was unmatched, and his legal troubles created a vacuum that left many wondering what would happen next. Artists who had worked with Diddy in the past, as well as those who were currently signed to his label, suddenly found themselves facing an uncertain future. The FBI's case against Diddy had the potential to not only end his career, but to permanently damage the legacy he had worked so hard to build. What happens next? With Diddy now in custody and facing the full weight of the federal government's case against him, his future is more uncertain than ever. The charges are serious, and the evidence is damning. While his legal team will undoubtedly fight tooth and nail to clear his name, the road ahead is long and fraught with challenges. The FBI's investigation into Diddy has already uncovered a vast web of illegal activity, and it remains to be seen how much more will come to light as the trial approaches. For Diddy, the man who once stood at the pinnacle of success, the fall has been swift and unforgiving. Whether he will be able to recover from this remains to be seen, but one thing is clear: the FBI's case against him has changed everything. The emotional toll of his incarceration becomes more apparent with each passing day. For a man who spent decades at the pinnacle of the entertainment world, controlling an empire of music, fashion, and business, the stark reality of prison life has weighed heavily on him. Sources close to the situation suggest that Diddy, accustomed to luxury and power, is now facing a crushing sense of isolation, powerlessness, and despair. Gone are the entourages, the lavish parties, and the constant attention that once defined Diddy's life. Instead, he is confined to a small, cold cell, with his every movement controlled by prison guards. The strict routine and isolation have been difficult to bear for a man who has always thrived on constant interaction, stimulation, and control. The leaked audio clip of Diddy breaking down in jail offers a glimpse into the depth of his sadness and frustration. His vulnerability in that moment was a stark contrast to the confident, untouchable image he has cultivated for so long. Reports of Diddy being placed under suicide watch only underscore the severity of his mental and emotional struggles. For a man who built his identity on strength, success, and perseverance, this moment represents an unimaginable low point. While his legal battles are far from over, Diddy's current state of mind has left many wondering whether he will be able to cope with the mounting pressures of his situation. His sadness in prison is not only a reflection of his loss of freedom, but also a symbol of a man facing the full weight of the consequences